Is this on? All right. Sound on? Hey, if anybody can hear me, let me know. Let me know if you can hear me. Oh, sound might be jacked up. Is the sound okay? Somebody let me know if you can hear this mic. This is a new setup I'm doing. I'm gonna switch it out real quick if not. All right, good. Thank you. Thank you. All right, so nothing planned with this one. I don't have any thank you. Yeah, I don't have any agenda or anything. I've got football on in the background and I'm at home, and I get tons and tons of questions and comments in my YouTube videos, and people ask me the question, and I get a lot of very similar questions. So I'm sitting around and I'm going to answer questions. And if you got them, fire them off. I'll try to answer them if I can. Probably not going to be able to do anything too specific. A lot of people ask me very specific questions, if you know what I mean. But again, you can hang out as long as you want, ask a question if you want. I'm going to be on here for as long as people are asking questions, I guess. What's everybody got going on Sunday? Come on, it's got to be doing something. Just lounging around. Got gout. Is that a question about an exam, Dale? Do you have a question about that? The video's freezing. Does that happen from other people? Rebecca, I'll answer anything. Typically, my channel is about medical examinations, like safety sensitive employee medical examinations, like the DOT physical or the basic med physical for pilots. I do a lot of drug testing videos. There's been a lot of changes with legalization of certain things. So there's been a lot of moving parts. So I'll do the best to answer any of those type of questions. Or ask me anything else. Ask me about, I don't know, if anybody's got any questions about anything. Again, a little bit more relaxed here. There's no agenda as far as from my end. So I'm just going to leave the video, I guess, the way that it is. There hasn't been any updates. So I haven't made any updates about the HSA recommendation to the DEA about the rescheduling of marijuana, because there hasn't been anything. Again, saliva testing for THC is still in the works, but they need to certify 2 labs. Again, the HSA moves very, very slowly. They need to certify 2 labs. And as far as I know, they don't even, two labs haven't even applied to be certified. So saliva testing isn't happening anytime soon. As far as THC testing goes, that'll be a game changer once it does. Sorry, I'm looking over here because I am still watching the Rams Cowboys games right now. Huh, so is the video freezing really? took you 9 months to test clean? For what were you, Dale? What were you testing for? Rich? No, I don't have a dog. No, I don't have a dog. I have a son instead. I have a son. He's 9 years old. But no dog for me. We have fish. We have about 10 fish, which are technically my son's fish. And then I take care of them. It's the reason I don't want a dog, is because I know once that dog gets in this house, everybody's going to be gung-ho about taking care of it. And then I'm going to end up doing all of the work. Really? 9 months for weed? You're home testing, or did you fail on an actual official test? All right. So how long after the DEA? So the DEA, there won't be a recommendation. The DEA will just reschedule. And then, who knows what's going to happen after that? I think it's going to then end up, Schedule 3 would be in line with other prescription drugs. So it might make it a prescription kind of situation. I don't know what's going to happen with home growers. I mean, we're kind of in this scenario now where the federal government just looks the other way, and as far as states with laws that make it legal, either medical or recreational. So it might just be a look the other way kind of situation. Can your employer drug test you while you're on vacation or random? Private employers can do whatever they want. That'd be a kind of a silly thing to do, I would think. I don't. JM, it's my right. No, I don't. Nope. When I'm for, I don't even really advocate. I'm not really advocating for anything. This channel is all about just giving people information. There's so much misinformation about the testing, about what's legal and what's not. People get in trouble for just not having the information. So my channel is basically about just giving people information. I don't really advocate for either side, except for the fact that I think that all drugs, when you go in for a drug test, you should be able to detect all drugs for an equal time or an equal amount of use. And that's not the case right now. Especially, again, I've gone on and on and on videos. THC, marijuana is 100% discriminated against when you take a drug test, because it can be tested for so long. Rich, no beta fish. I don't know. They're like, tropical fish, tetras, things like that. I've got to clean that fish tank later today during the Bengals game. Here, Rich has already got a question that's very, very specific, and it's going to be very, very difficult for me to answer. Average physical activity level. But I'll try. I'll give it a shot. Don't hold me to any of these quotes as far as time goes, because marijuana is so weird. Again, if you've seen my videos, you know that I give you the best I can as far as estimations, but it's tricky. So if you were clean, did one puff, what would the detection time be? I would think, because if you're only using one puff, it won't store up in your body fat, and storing up in your body fat's what's going to cause it to be able to be tested for an extended period of time. So when we're talking about being able to test for a month, 2 months, 3 months, I don't know, somebody was just on here said 9 months. That's crazy. It's because it builds up and stores in your body fat. If you do one puff, and then are clean after that, you should test positive in as little as 3 days, maybe a little bit longer. Again, every situation is different. Everybody's metabolism is different. It's hard for me to, but that's the basis for how that works, is that when people use on a regular basis, it stores up in your body. Rebecca, what do you mean? Why can people use fake pee to pass a drug test? It does work. The research that I've read shows it does work. I made a video where I went in and passed a drug test using fake pee, just to kind of expose how silly and stupid this system is that we have. It's just so easily beat. If we're going to test for this stuff, we should at least have some integrity in the test. There's no integrity in these tests. Anybody with $50 and a heater, a little warmer pack can beat these tests if they want to. It's the illusion of safety. It's just like taking your shoes off at the airport. It doesn't make that flight any safer, but it makes people feel better, I guess, or feel safer. I don't know. It's the drug testing process is silly right now. Yeah, all right. Frankly speaking, this is a good question. This is a question I'm going to answer on a video coming up soon. It's the what does the faint line what does the faint line mean? And again, I made a video series with a testing company. Exploro is the testing company that I recommend their test because they have the same cutoff as official tests, 50 nanograms per milliliter, especially with marijuana. So at Exploro, EXPLORO, academy.com. We have a full comprehensive kind of how to approach a drug test if you're concerned about THC and passing for THC. But I answer this question in a little bit more detail, but frankly speaking, this is the answer to the question. If you've got a real dark line on the control field, like you take a home test and the one line is very, very red and the other line is faint or pink or blurry or whatever you want to call it, that's still a passing test. It means you're just barely under that 50 nanograms per milliliter cutoff. So it basically means that you do have THC metabolites in your system and they're still registering on that test, but it's not over that 50 nanograms per milliliter cutoff. So you shouldn't test positive, at least if you're using one of our tests, the tests that I recommend. So it would be a negative test. Is a blurry line would be a negative test, because there's no, like, when you go in to take your official test, it's not like they're detecting all levels, like all the way down, just over zero. It's only if you're over 50 nanograms, it's positive, and you're under, you're negative, and that's basically it. Yeah, that's my question. Is what I don't know what IOP is. I'm gonna feel silly. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, if she got caught, it's because she got caught. You couldn't do it in the military. The military, they're traditionally observed tests, and they do observe tests because they don't want people doing this. They know the vulnerabilities. With the FMCSA, with safety sensitive jobs, there's no observation. You get locked in a room, a bathroom, and then you give your sample and you put it in a cup and you give it back to them. It's crazy. It's crazy. So I don't know what their process is. Probably it was an observed test. I would think it would be an observed test. It's it's hard to catch it. Cowboys just scored a touchdown. CeeDee Lamb, 32-3. Yeah, thanks. Thank you for that. Dang. I can't even say, there's no way to even say that it really would work every single time on in any situation. I mean, there's ways that when I used to do drug testing in my offices, there's ways you try to make sure that people aren't cheating, but she got called out in a group. Man, that is crazy. All right, Rich. So I just did a video on this about what I think is going to change with safety sensitive employees like the DOT, the FMCSA. And what I think is going to happen is they're still going to test for marijuana, but the test is going to be a saliva test. Saliva tests can only test for a few days. So that's what I think they're doing. That's what they're trying to do right now. So I don't think they're going to go away from that. I think it'll still be tested for, but the test will only go back a few days instead of months. I mean, freaking, we're talking about months, 9 months. I've heard some crazy stories. I don't know. The science basically says that 3 months, maybe 4 months is about as long as I can get any evidence on. And they need to do more research, and they can't do more research because it's Schedule 1 right now. If it becomes Schedule 3, all this research will come out, and I'll be able to make these videos with a little bit more clarity. But right now, 3-4 months is all but I hear people saying they test for longer all the time. It's crazy. The Bears is one of my NFC teams. I lived in Chicago for like 10 years. They're not doing too good. They are not doing too good. My friends are hot about the Bears. I don't know. Can you beat a saliva test? No, you can't. You got to be clean for a few days. That's you take the good with the bad. There's a very short window, but they're taking the sample right from you. So, people say you use mouthwash or things like that to beat hydrate to beat a saliva test. That shouldn't work. I mean, of course, there's going to be people that say that it does. Okay, been in pain management, taking Schedule 2 meds for 20 years. Can I get an exemption with a written letter from your doctor? Trim track. So do you mean an exemption for the DOT physical so that you can get a CDL medical card? If that's what you mean, then yes, I do those all the time. If people have their doctor write a note that says it is safe for this person to drive while taking their medication, then I typically certify them unless for some other reason I think that it's not safe. Rebecca, I don't think so. That's quite the combination. Saliva test. If you brush your teeth earlier with peroxide and then drink a Red Bull, I haven't heard of that one. If somebody can vouch for that, I have no idea. I would think it's tough because it would be more tough to pass a saliva test or try to, beat a saliva test. But yeah, I've heard all these same things too. I've heard you can use mouthwash. Trim track, good. I guess that's what you meant is can you pass a DOT physical if you're taking certain medications? And typically what the FMCSA doesn't like is like pain medications, psychiatric medications. If you're taking those, you come into my office and you're trying to get a CDL medical card, I will need a note from your doctor. Just saying that it's safe for you to drive. Everybody, it's a hoop that you have to jump through. Look at that, a swish of coffee and mouthwash at the same time. Now, who knows if that's what did it or if he was just clean. What we need is some, some kind of research where people go in, have used the same amount, are testing at the same time frame, potentially after stopping or not stopping. And then some of them do certain methods and some of them don't. We see if the certain methods actually do work. Whether they'll ever do that, who knows? How long have I been on? Oh man, it's already been 20 minutes I've been on here. I don't know if Sunday's a great day to do these either. It's just, typically when I'm in the office, I don't have a convenient time. I did that last live stream I did was just because that news broke about the potential rescheduling. So I wanted to get the information out as quick as possible. But typically, I don't know. Sunday's probably not the best time to do one of these. I don't know. All right, I'm just checking to see if I missed anything. I don't think so. I'm glad it didn't freeze up. Couple people said it froze. I'm trying a new, since I'm at home, I film all my videos. One of my bedrooms, basically, I've converted into the studio. It's what you see in the background of my videos. Or the background is just one of my bedrooms. So I'm not in the bedroom, obviously, right now, or in that studio right now, but I've got all my equipment. So I'm trying to do this where it actually looks a little bit better. I just don't like phone video. I hate it. I hate phone sound. I just don't like it. So sometimes I'll pop on here if it's, again, breaking news or something like that I really need to get out. Rich, you are quite welcome. You're quite welcome. Alan, that is the truth. That is the truth. I don't have to be tested. I have a license to be able to test other people, and I don't have to be tested myself. It's a weird world in some ways. It's a weird world. Yeah, that line of what is a safety sensitive person and what isn't. I mean, I don't know. Are surgeons not safety sensitive people? I've known so many surgeons. I just bring up surgeons. I'm not gonna obviously name names, but I've known so many surgeons that partake in things. Are they not safety sensitive? But I can see why we consider somebody that's driving a very large truck a safety sensitive person, a plane a safety. I can see why they're safety sensitive, but then why? Where's the cutoff? I guess what they're trying to maybe say is that the cutoff is how many lives you can affect. A surgeon, could kill one person at a time, where a pilot can kill hundreds of people at a time. I don't know. Is this a little heavy for Sunday? Maybe I'm not sure. Jeez, it's going off the rails here at 23 minutes. It's going off the rails. Driving drunk. Oh, okay. I have a dump truck and I hit a joint or 2 Sundays. Will it be? All right. So here's, again, Charles, this is kind of how it works is if we're talking about marijuana, it builds up in your system. So if you were clean, and again, these are estimations. I cannot tell you if you're going to pass a drug test. Again, the series I did, the teachable series I did at exploroacademy.com goes over this in great detail. YouTube is crazy with demonetizing any video that has anything to do with THC or marijuana. It's just nuts. So we made this whole video series of the stuff that we can't really talk about here on YouTube. I did with my buddies at Exploro, and we talk about all this stuff. But basically, THC builds up in your system. So when you use THC marijuana, you on a regular basis, it goes into your fat cells, and then it releases in your fat over time. Now, if you never use marijuana, use it once, and then never use it again, it's typically out of your system in a few days, a week, maybe. It's people that use it regularly, it stores up in your body, and then it releases over time. And then we're talking months and months, and potentially months and months and months. So again, I got videos with estimators in there. Maybe I should do a video just about if you only use once, but does anybody really do that? Would anybody watch that video? Does anybody really care about a one-time use situation? One-time use, you're generally okay after a few days, a week. Month-wise, you're testing clean through the process. All right, help me out here, Raphael. How long does an independent medical evaluation take month-wise? You're testing clean throughout the process. I don't know. Let's see. You're clean. Okay. All right. All right. Another like when you will test. Yeah. It's tough for me to give you an estimation on when you're going to test clean. It depends on how much body fat you have, how frequently you've used. That's the big one. No, those are both really big ones. How frequently. Your metabolism matters as well. I've got videos that do try to estimate that, but again, they're estimations. So I think if I do another one of these, maybe during the week or an evening might be a better way to do it. Rebecca, I do know the answer to that question. A few days for all of them. All those drugs, none of those drugs are like marijuana where they last for extended periods of time. Your body clears them out, the metabolism's out, the metabolites out very quickly. And only cocaine would be tested for on a 5-panel anyway. So you would have to be being tested specifically for shrooms. They don't test for them very often. And this is urine testing. Hair testing is different. All right, anybody got anything else? Anything fun they're doing today? Getting ready for Halloween. Ready for Halloween. Uh-oh, Ben's starting to play piano upstairs. You might hear the piano start going. All right, I'm doing one more sweep to see if I missed anything. No, Rebecca, you got a grandson. I missed it. You got a grandson that just turned 9. Yeah, Ben will be 10 in June. He thinks he's 30. All right, I guess I got him. Uh-oh, something else. How long does cannabis take to get out of your blood and hair if you used to be a daily user? It's a little easier to estimate blood and hair. Blood is a couple days, maybe. And hair is 3 months. They're going to get it. I mean, if you're a daily regular user, they're going to get it for 3 months. Now, if you use, again, one time, typically you pass a hair test because, again, the metabolites have to build up and they have to reach a certain level. Uh-oh. Everybody hear that Matthew Perry died? Did you guys see that news? My friend texted me a real cryptic, like he drowned in his hot tub or something like that. That's crazy. It's crazy, man. I just looked it up. He was worth $100 million from being on Friends. Like, how is he worth that much money? So blood is a couple days. Hair is going to be 3 months. If you're a daily user, they're going to find it in your hair for 3 months. Not longer because, again, they're only testing this much of your hair. So if you got real long hair, people think that they're going to test. They just test this much of your hair. So it's always consistently they can find it for 3 months. Your doctor says preferred method is saliva test and secondary UTD. Does that mean that saliva is here for the test? So Curtis, if your doctor's from my form says preferred method is saliva. Yeah, you're going to get a saliva test, it sounds like, unless, I don't know why the secondary would be urinalysis. Usually it would be the other way around. But yeah, it looks like you're going to have a saliva test. Nick, that is awesome to hear. That's why I'm trying to do this stuff. I very much appreciate that support. That's cool, man. Okay, so any question about what you could possibly do to reduce, or, man, I just can't talk about that stuff here on YouTube. Exploroacademy.com. Exploroacademy.com. You know I'm right? No. I mean, there are some things with some science behind it. Everything else, I'm not going to speak to things that people just, I hear in passing. You know, if there's not some science behind it, some science, and again, the science is so limited on this stuff because it's Schedule 1. There's not some science behind it. I don't speak to it. So, you know, I don't want to send people into a drug test thinking they're going to pass. What you need to do to pass is, or if you to know you're going to pass, is you need to home test yourself every single day, just like we laid out in the videos, again, over at exploroacademy.com. What happens to your CDL if you refuse to test? If you refuse to test or you test positive, basically the same thing. Your CDL suspended. You have to go through the return to duty process, which means you basically have to take classes and things like that. You could be fired by your employer. It's kind of up to them. But you can't drive if you test positive. All right, Edmund, would I support truck drivers being able to use off the clock like Canada has? Yet, for sure. I completely understand the safety. Yeah, I mean, I think that's what we're trying to get to here in the United States. So what I support is people being safe. You know, my office is built on trying to make sure that people are safe when they're going out and doing these jobs where, again, lots of money, big equipment, lives are at stake. So I certainly am of the opinion that people should be as free to do basically whatever they want as long as they're not going to hurt other people. Yeah. All right. So Michael, you were totally clean, had nothing in your system. This is what I'm reading off of your, or what I'm gathering off of the comment. Use pot for 2 weekends in a row. 5-7, 190. Can I expect it to? Yeah, I would expect you to test clean in 30 days. But, you know, everybody's metabolism is a little bit different. But my guess would be, based on that comment, that you would probably test clean in 30 days. Home test yourself. It's easy. Home test yourself. Test yourself every morning. And you'll know. You'll see a trend over time. Are you testing positive? Are you testing negative? Is that faint line becoming darker? You know, all the stuff that we go over. If you use, here we go. Here is a question. Rebecca, again, coming with the good one. If you use THC hand cream, does it come up dirty on a UA? Certainly can. Even if it contains, so that brings me to like the CBD products that are 0.3% THC or less. Even those, because they can be contaminated with THC, there's so much research on that. There is research on that because you can do research on things that are 0.3% or less, or label themselves as such, but the FDA isn't really monitoring that stuff. So if you fail a DOT drug test, you do the return to duty process and you're good. What you got to worry about is, what does your employer do? I mean, that's what's important. I don't know about activated charcoal. If there was some research on it, I mean, there are some things with some research on it. Can't go over those again here on YouTube. YouTube won't allow it, will not allow it. What's going on here? Good morning, excessive media. Where are you that it's morning? I tried to do this I'm in Eastern time in Cincinnati, so I tried to do this where I thought the West Coast people would be at least up and moving on a Sunday. But where is it morning at? There is no update on oral fluid testing. None. Where it stands right now is they're waiting on. They have to get 2 labs certified to be able to perform the oral fluid testing, and they have none so far. And as far as I know, there hasn't really been even any movement on labs trying to become certified. It's a slow process. It's a slow process. I'm very interested to know where it's morning for you. I mean, obviously I know that it's morning in certain parts of the world. But if you're asking about oral fluid testing, you must be in America, right? What's going on here? Maybe you just misspoke. How does a person check their own dot record? I don't know. Like for drug testing? Like if it's still on there? It's still going to be on there. It's just you got to go through the return to duty process too. And a positive drug test is still going to be on there. I know how we check it. Oh man, you're right. It is technically morning out there. Yep. Sorry about that. Yeah, it is technically. Jeez. It's 3 hours. It's 3 hours behind. Yep. So good morning, good afternoon, whatever it is. All right, I'm going to be jumping off here. Anybody's got anything last minute? Okay, so hold on. Can I confirm again on the medicated creams, one will test positive? I can't confirm that it will, but I'm saying there's a possibility that if you use a THC cream, that potentially you could test positive. THC cream, you could potentially test positive on any kind of drug test. Potentially. Impossible for me to tell anybody that they are certainly going to pass or they're certainly going to fail. I mean, we can make reasonable guesses. Yeah, Lando, yes. That's what I would do. But once you go through the return to duty process, I wouldn't be too worried about it. I'll go to 40. I'll go to 40 minutes, so 40 after, and then I'll cut out. Anybody got questions about anything else? Yep, appreciate it. You too, Michael. All right, I am out of here. I'll do another one of these sometime in the future. Appreciate everybody hanging out for a little bit on a Sunday. Got a new video coming out on Tuesday. Every Tuesday from here on out. I've been a little sick, so I hate how my voice sounds when I'm sick, like real nasally. I hate how the audio comes out, but now I should be able to crank out another video every Tuesday. And there's a lot of stuff I want to talk about, so it's just making the time to make the videos, right? Yep, you got it, excessive media. Sorry that I forgot that it was early still in Cali. Michael, secondhand smoke. Got a whole video on secondhand smoke. I'm going to direct you to that video. Check out my secondhand smoke video. You will be pleasantly surprised. All right. See you guys.